Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chelsea Explained, as this is your match review the day after Chelsea and Djurgården played here in Sweden facing my local team, and in the first leg of the Conference League semi-final, Chelsea were heavily dominant and winning 4-1. I think there could have been more goals into the game, both from Chelsea and Djurgården. And you can say that Chelsea has now one foot in the final. I would say we are through because I don't see Djurgården having the power and quality to turn it around, being down 4-1. And if we're looking at the other fixture that went down the same day that plays into Chelsea's favor, especially in Premier League, is that Forest dropped points against Brentford. It's only 4 games to go in the Premier League, and it's a massive boost for us to achieving top 5 and hopefully Champions League football. In the other Conference League semi-final game, we saw Betis, La Liga side, beating the Serie A side Fiorentina 2-1 in their first leg. So we're gonna face either of those sides. I think Real Betis in the final would be a slightly tougher opponent. I mean, they are in stunning form in La Liga and beating some of the top teams there. So it's a team that is and not fearing any opponent and really believing in themselves and has tactics that suits the players. So Real Betis is a team I'm more afraid of than Fiorentina. I think they're gonna be a difficult opponent to face. Now, if we're getting back into the game yesterday, as if I'm gonna start by talking as a Djurgården supporter and then as a Chelsea supporter. And I'm quite happy with Djurgården. I thought, of course, Chelsea is a heavily superior team, but I thought the atmospheres and fans were so loud. It was like the loudest I've heard, and I can imagine in the ground that Djurgården supporters has ever been. I thought the tifo was 10 out of 10 and were Djurgården's 12th man in this home game, and they sang from the first to last second. So hopefully Chelsea fans get a nice feeling of what Djurgården fans is all about. Unfortunate you didn't get to see flares and smokes because they weren't allowed to take it in. And overall of the game, I'm quite happy with Djurgården. I mean, there's 2 silly mistakes that Chelsea capitalized on and forcing Djurgården to make, and you cannot do that if you want to have the slightest chance of getting anything against these far superior teams. And Danielsson was playing he played a part in both the mistakes, and he's a player that has these sort of habits. We've seen it in the Swedish National League, we've seen it in Djurgården before, that he can have those sort of moments that cost you goals. Except from that, I'm quite happy with how Djurgården played, because they didn't just try to sit back and launch direct counterattacks. They were also trying to go and nick a goal here and there. And especially in the second half, despite being down, they were trying to go forward, being brave, add bodies in the final third inside the box, and they were really trying to hurt one of Chelsea's weaknesses, which is usually crosses in the box, especially on the far post where Djurgården could score a goal from. And there were plethora of chances with cutback chances, low driven crosses, shots outside the box that Djurgården could have scored from. And this is a poor habit that Chelsea has, that especially defensively wise, that we're really poor at being concentrated. We're poor at marking players, looking what we have behind us. And these are type of goals that cost us in Premier League as well. This is a common theme throughout the season. So I'm not quite happy with that the defensive display from Chelsea in the second half. And if you're looking at the league table in the Swedish division, yes, Djurgården is 11th, but it's only 5 games into the season, and I think there is quite promises to be seen in the Djurgården side. And with their old managers that got sacked last year, and before the Swedish season started, I would have been more confident in Djurgården because I thought they were a more dangerous side. But having a new manager, it's gonna take some time for Djurgården to settle in and understand his ideas, etc. But overall, I'm happy with Djurgården's performance, especially going forward. The defensive mistakes were just too costly, and you cannot do that. In terms of Chelsea, though, scoring 4 goals could have added more. As I mentioned, not happy with the defensive display, but with the offensive display and the possession and movement, I'm quite happy with that. The first goal is coming from Enzo Fernandez switch ball to Sancho, who cuts inside, takes a shot, and it's deflected in by the Swedish defending Djurgården Danielsson. And later on, we're seeing how we're continuously finding those penetrated passes through Djurgården's midfield by finding the half space players in dangerous pockets, and Djurgården did not know how to stop that. And eventually Uecl took advantage of that. He received a pass unmarked behind Djurgården's left back, and he put an excellent power on the ball and strikes it in right bottom corner. Then we're going in to the second half, so to say, leading 2-0, Chelsea leading 2-0. We're seeing multiple changes with Reece James coming off, a total of 4 changes actually. I thought Reece James had a fantastic first half in that defensive midfield, and you can see he has fantastic vision, playing accurate through balls with limited space to do. So Reece James is just such a complete player, such a complete footballer. We see multiple changes, resting some guys, bringing on the likes of Palmer, Jackson. Hopefully they can gain more confidence, get a goal, because they desperately need it. I mean, unfortunate Cole Palmer has gone now 18 games, I think, without scoring a goal. And you can see desperately needed for his confidence. Whether that's down to tactically or down to Palmer, I mean, we could discuss that the whole day. But Jackson stepped up, scoring a brace, and I thought he was absolutely stunning in the second half. The first goal come from another Djurgården mistake between Danielsson and goalkeeper Rinne, who didn't have the right communication, and Jackson were pressing, being aggressive, poaching the ball from them, and he scores in open net. And just like few minutes later, Jackson is dribbling past Djurgården players, makes like a ball roll with his right foot, and in the same motion he hits a powerful strike in the right top corner with his weaker left foot, which was a real golazo, I have to say that. And then we're not seeing Chelsea adding any more goals. We're seeing them sitting back in last 20-50 minutes. They're reserving energy for Liverpool. But the downside with it is that Chelsea allowed then Djurgården to go into the final third and invited pressure. And Djurgården had some brilliant chances to maybe score 2-3 goals. But the problem Djurgården has, as I spoke about in the match preview, is that they creating chances, but they cannot finish the dinner, similar to the problem Chelsea has. So that costed Djurgården dearly to not be clinical, but I understand you're dropping back, leading, 4-0, and you want to reserve your energy. But this lapse of concentration and poor marking inside the box is something, it's a common thing with Chelsea that I don't really like. For me, man of the match, even though he only played 45 minutes, I thought he was fantastic in the attack. And what I really admire about Jackson is his intensity, willingness to be aggressive, and try to steal the ball from the opponent and interrupt them, always breathing down their neck so they can never be comfortable. And that paid off, and that's how he scored one of the goals. And after that, he gained confidence and he trusted in his ability to just shoot with his weakest shot. And that's something a lot of players has to do better. For example, Cole Palmer, you always want to shoot with your left foot. Sometimes you're going to have to shoot with your right. There will never be that perfect opportunity, unfortunate. And that's why when you have the opportunity to shoot, you have to shoot. If you're hesitating and waiting at that second, the chance is likely to be gone, and then we get dispossessed and we can't score a goal. I'm also happy with some other play performances in terms of Uecl. You could also add a brace. Sanchafol was quite positive, and so Fernandes as well. You know, I'm quite happy with everyone. We also saw 16-year-old academy boy who still goes in school. He had school today, 12 o'clock. I read that on Twitter. Hasn't even a professional contract yet. Got his Chelsea debut, and he received like 3, 4, 5 minutes, which was fantastic to see. And I just love Maresca is being brave, giving some of our Cobham guys chances, because we have some gold nuggets in there that you should give opportunities instead of going to the market spending millions on wonder kids elsewhere. We already got a lot of these guys in the academy that you can utilize. So I really like that from Enzo Maresca. There were some slight worries in terms of the artificial pitch at Free Arena, but it's not Djurgården who decides what the pitch is going to be made of, because they don't own the arena. They actually hire it. So I don't really know who's making the decision, but this is how it looks like throughout the whole Sweden. So it's not really Djurgården's fault. The pitch is the way it is, and they also has also been vocal about the concerns of the artificial pitch inside the Free Arena. Djurgården had one goal from a young guy, 18-year-old, and the player I told you to watch out for was Gulliksen. I thought he was Djurgården's best player. He's someone that's likely gonna get sold because I think he's too good for the Swedish league. But I wish they could have strengthened with other type of profiles in the team, but I'm not gonna talk about them anymore. I think this is everything I wanted to say in this match review, and I hope you liked it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will happily read it. And if you're brand new here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell so you never miss when the content drops, and CFCexplained out. Bye.